Hi, and welcome to the girls. We're here today at our Laurel Mall set in a beautiful Laurel Mall.
Yes, we're missing Lori. She couldn't be with us today, so we're filling in for Lori.
Yeah, I think you and I could talk probably enough. Poor Lori sometimes doesn't get any airtime when we start talking, and she's just sitting here, yep. So, what's going on?
Getting ready for the holidays. I can't believe it's here already.
I know, the time goes so quickly. It seems like I just took the tree down and it's almost time to put the tree back up again.
Remember how Mom used to keep the tree up and just decorate it for Easter and then Valentine's Day, and I know some other people do that St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be able to do that because I have to remove furniture in the one part of the house to make room for the tree. And then, I don't know, I just like, I look forward to it, but then I look forward to taking it down.
Well, you know, I only usually decorate for Christmas, so I start super early. It's normally the week before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Because I like my house decorated for Thanksgiving. So the outside done before it gets cold, the inside done and it gets nice and cozy in there. And we're hosting Thanksgiving at our house this year, so we'll be ready. We'll be ready for you.
I hope
Bring your appetite.
I hope so. I'm going to bring it. Well, today I was getting ready and I almost didn't get here. Well, I was a little late. I was going to put my Fitbit watch back on, and you know how the band curls up when you take it off? So I had it on the chest in my bathroom. I went to pick it up and I dropped it on my toe. I didn't have shoes on, I had my sandals on. I dropped it on my toe. My toe was like gushing blood for like ever. I don't know if anybody's squeamish, but it's like, there I was with the tissues and whatever, and I used one of those septic sticks to stop it from bleeding. Then I had to put the Band-Aid on it, and my toe is killing me from my watch.
Well, you bruise
so
too.
But how
if you go like this to her, she has black and blue marks all over.
I'm just a delicate little flower.
Like Nanny was too. I love my Fitbit. I just don't like when it stops working and you know you're at that like 9,999 and it goes low battery. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, I don't have mine on. Hello, it's laying at home.
Well, then yours definitely isn't taking you.
Yeah, well, I don't care because I can't walk too good today with my toe.
Hopping around.
Yeah, hopping around. So I have sandals on. I couldn't get the shoes on.
Oh, well, anyway, it is the holiday season, and this year is quite different than years past with COVID and all of the new restrictions that we have, trying to make life as normal as possible. I know everyone that I talk to is concerned about their mental health, their parents' mental health, their grandparents' mental health, their children's mental health, and we've done several shows this season on mental health. That's how important it is, because I just feel there's so many different angles with dealing with mental health, and everyone needs something.
Right, as you said, like everything's topsy-turvy. It's creating a new normal, and for some people, it's very difficult because they have just one routine, and it's really hard to juggle a lot of things if you have other people in your family. And you know, it can be quite stressful on top of the stress you had before. So now you have another stress.
Yeah, and people like tradition, and so for the holidays, you want to keep those traditions as normal as possible. So coming up on our show, we have Angela Turse. She is a counselor, and she is going to talk about mental health, some exercises that we can do at home to keep ourselves healthy throughout the holiday season, right?
Are these mental exercises or physical?
We're going to find out.
Okay, stay with us. We'll be right back.
We do not want you getting the winter blues this year. We want you to be able to enjoy the holiday season. So we have a special guest on to talk about mental health. We have Angela Turse, founder and owner of Brainworkz, a neurofeedback center that's located in the Hazleton area here in Pennsylvania. So thanks for joining us on the program, Ange.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited because mental health doesn't necessarily have to be like a down conversation. Like we could talk about mental health and it be a good conversation.
It should be.
Yeah.
You should know your trigger points on your mental health, and you know we can help you before you get into a bad place with your mental health.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your background so everyone at home knows who you are.
So I'm a neurofeedback technician, and neurofeedback is direct brain training. So it's similar to biofeedback, except it focuses on the brain. I have clients from autism, speech disorders, anxiety has been a big one, especially since March.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I guess with the COVID and all of the changes and everything, it's caused a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety with the unknown. You know, a lot of people are walking around with, they usually have their plans made, and now it's like unknown. Do I plan this? Do I plan a party? Do I plan a wedding? Do I plan whatever? So what kind of
Change tends to be a huge issue with anxiety. The change comes about in your life and you get anxious, and because you don't know what's coming, you're right.
You also are a counselor in the area, so you deal with high school students?
Yes, primarily with high school, yeah. I'm a counselor at the Hazelton area.
The things you've probably seen and heard are probably things that...
Yes, and you know, grief has been a big part for my population, and it usually is not. Usually high school students aren't dealing with too much grief, maybe a grandparent or a great-grandparent or, you know, an accident that happens, but not as often as it has been since March. I've had some students who've lost, you know, 3 or 4 people in their immediate family due to COVID, so grief has been a big thing. You know, it tends to help even after 8 to 10, 12 sessions. People sometimes get relief, their symptoms, and you don't need a diagnosis to come and get neurofeedback. You just simply, if you're feeling a certain way, mental health is your state of being. If that's different than it has been, or you would like to improve your mental health, then neurofeedback's a great idea. I give neurofeedback to myself.
So what would be something that someone would say, yeah, I think I need to see you? What would be some of the signs that they should look for themselves or maybe their children?
I would say just anything different. If you're feeling different, if you're feeling down, if things are changed in some way for you that's not your norm. And let's face it, I don't know, since March it really hasn't been the norm for everybody, for anybody. So if you're feeling different, I would say, in a negative way, neurofeedback could be for you.
Do you feel that men are more, can I use the word stubborn when it comes to if they actually have something that might be bothering them with their mental health?
Oh, absolutely. And it's great because I have a lot of male clients. It's non-talk therapy. So it's something that some people need talk therapy. They need to talk through their problems. But exactly, the male brain is so different than the female brain. And not that one is better than the other, but males sometimes don't need to talk through their problems. So neurofeedback sometimes is a better answer for them.
And when we look at mental health, how do you describe that to someone at home? Maybe they're just feeling different and they don't realize, aha, that this is me that they're talking about on the show, that I have something that I need to, you know.
You could take a look at your mindset. You know, I always say, I try to look at everything glasses half full. And mindset is a huge indicator. If you're thinking about a lot of things negatively, or you're surrounding yourself with a lot of negative people, then you tend to take on those thoughts or those moods or attitudes. So mindset is a big thing, trying to think of things positively, trying to be present in the moment, which we're going to talk a little bit more about being present.
Right, when you talk about being present, I feel that with COVID, even more so, technology has really bombarded our brains. And when I say our, I mean our children. And I feel, even for myself, that when I'm not on my phone, I'm still going at a fast pace until I can calm myself down from the speed of working on technology all day long.
I've even cut myself off of technology and the news because I started to notice myself thinking about things and not being able to be present. It's hard to be present in the first place, to really be in the moment with someone, to really feel what somebody else is feeling and have empathy and sympathy. I backed away from some social media. I stopped watching the news, and maybe that's something that our viewers need to do at home. Maybe they need to not go on the news right away to get information and kind of just process things on your own and formulate your own opinions, base it on your morals, your ethics, instead of reading everybody else's comments to things, because it tends to make us anxious.
It's very overwhelming even with a child or children, and what they deal with social media. I mean, they have to worry about so much more, not even worry, but nothing is private anymore for these children. I mean, someone posts a picture on Snapchat or on Instagram or on Visco, and now it's like everyone knows that these 3 girls were hanging out, or these 4 boys were hanging out, and someone wasn't there or invited, or oh, what is she wearing, or what is he doing? So they have all these things that they have to, you know, work around, on top of now most kids working from home on technology. I think technology seems to be a huge part. Do you feel that, Mom, with the mental health part for young adults, for adults too, but for these children?
Well, I think a lot of it is probably maybe influenced by what's in the home too. So some parents come home and they say, okay, no phones, whatever, at the dinner table. So I think it's a trickle down maybe from the parents, do you think? And maybe what's going on? The kids, if they're working on their computers all day long, I think there has to be a cutoff time and a schedule. We talked about that on another show, to limit certain things and try to help your kids through that, because otherwise I think you get mesmerized by being on it. I start scrolling through on Facebook, and a lot of times I just scroll through real quickly and I'll just look to see whose birthday or whatever, because a lot of their stuff just like sucks you in.
The kids are on there to learn, and then a lot of the times they want the reward from doing their schoolwork, but the reward is another electronic. So it's a lot of screen time, even for my kids, and they're in 6th grade and 1st grade, and it's a lot of screen time.
On my notes here, let's talk about mindset and being present. What is mindset and what is actually being present? I'm terrible at this, so that's why I bring it up. My head is always...
I've had to work very hard, so it doesn't come naturally. You know, being present with somebody doesn't come I don't think, for me it didn't. It takes practice, but your mindset is important, like we said, to think positively. And so if you start noticing yourself, before I had this mindset, now that since March, now my mindset has kind of gone more negative, or I noticed I have more road rage, or I'm short with my kids, or I'm snappy with my husband. That's your mindset. So if we can try to improve your mindset by being present, it's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Have you heard from people, maybe more couples, who before they weren't in the house as much together, where it's almost like strangulation, where they can't breathe with each other? You're used to your other routine, and then when someone steps in it, you love them dearly. Yep. It's like, it's like your children when you're trying to, use the bathroom. And that's the only time they want to talk to you, is if you're on the phone or in the bathroom. So it's like your time, and when your time is taken away, you don't realize how precious that time was for your sanity, even if it was just your morning routine that's now taken away. Oh no, Dad's getting in trouble here, I can tell.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't. We've been married long enough to go through a lot of things, because but Dad's we'll talk about that when we come back. We have to take a quick break, but it's getting juicy, so make sure you come back and join us. Welcome back to the girls. While you were gone, we were sitting here chatting, excuse me, I can't even say the word, but we were chatting about what happens when you're forced to be home with your husband or spouse or significant other and your kids, and you're used to having your own time.
Right? It's all the
little things. The little things
and
are even now getting on your nerves, right?
Yes. And sometimes then when you're saying all the little things, like I'll think to myself, well, that was pretty silly that I got mad over that, but it was all the little things that made it the big thing and the explosion to happen. Yeah,
it's like the constant, like it's constantly. So what are some things that we could do at home to help make us be present in the moment and have the right mindset and get back into the swing of things to be able to cope with everything?
This is a great point. Being present is probably one of the best things you can do for your mental health. So I've had to learn, and I've had to teach myself how to be present. And a quick body check is always good. Usually we're only feeling about 20% of our emotions or what our body's going through. So to check in mentally and physically with yourself is the first step to being present.
And how do you do that?
So one of the first things you could do is relax your neck, relax the space between your ears, your shoulders, and check in with the top part above your shoulders, with your head, your eyes. Our jaw tends to get a lot of us hold our stress in our jaw. So you could even massage and feel your muscles in your face. Once your head is relaxed, you move down your body and you just try and relax from head down to your toes, and then you can always start over even if you don't feel relaxed. It's going to take a good 5 to 10 minutes to do something like that, but once you have a body check and you know where you stand mentally, well, then you can move on with the rest of your day. You might not wake up in a great mood, but if you check in with yourself and you know and you're honest with yourself, okay, I woke up today and I'm not feeling great, but what do I have to look forward to? And if you don't have anything to look forward to, then think of the last time you were happy. Think about the last time you laughed hearty, that belly laugh that you get. Think about something that made you happy or that made you laugh. So be present with yourself first, because you have to be present with yourself before you can be present with anybody else. So just even feeling your back in the chair, when we're sitting here now, feeling our butt in the chair, where our feet are. Maybe our feet are hurting because we have heels on, and I haven't been used to wearing heels because we were in isolation. So, wearing heels again might feel different. Wearing work clothes again might feel differently for you. So if you can get all those sensories and know how you feel on the outside, check in with your inside and your emotions, how you're feeling that day, then start your day.
And we were talking about this during the break, that routine is so important. Today was the first day in a long time that I didn't get my routine in the morning with exercise. Just that walk makes you feel so much more. I said, I feel like a little bit sluggish now at 3:30 when we tape our shows. And it's definitely from that, because you're used to that routine, and exercise is movement.
Any kind of exercise, for people to get whatever moving. Exercise is good for you. So if it's a 5-minute walk, if it's a 50-minute walk, maybe it's a run, maybe it's lifting weights, swimming. I mean, anything to get your body moving. And it's usually best to do that in the morning, because then you usually last longer throughout the day.
Right.
I get my exercise going up and down the steps, taking laundry, making the beds, and so I have to start my day. I'm one of these people that I have to have my whole house straightened up. So I have to make the beds and make sure everything's in its place. And I think a lot of times if I get up in a really a funky kind of mood, not that I'm in a miserable mood, but just not feeling right, like you said, I have a bathroom that has all these Broadway lights in, and I go and I throw these lights on. And I spend some time not looking directly into the light, or maybe I'll call someone and sort of use another person that's a cheerful person that'll help sort of get me on the right track for the day.
Right. So having those positive people in our lives, and your exercise, up and down the steps, any kind of way to just get your body moving. So your house benefits and your mental health benefits.
Yeah, and getting dressed. I know a lot of people are staying home in their pajamas. I have to get dressed every day. And I always put a little bit of makeup on just for myself to make myself feel like, okay, I'm ready for the day.
Yeah. Agreed. Even if you're home, even if you are still working from home, I like to get ready. I like to get dressed. I like to show my kids that I get dressed, and I call it my war paint. Put my makeup on, my war paint on. And I think it makes a big difference if I don't get ready one day. You feel down, you don't feel yourself.
And you don't get as much done. For people looking, maybe they're staying inside because the weather is getting colder, and maybe it's, we're not getting that sunlight here in Pennsylvania that we normally did in the summer. There are ways that, like we're talking about, paint one of your rooms brighter. I know for me, my basement is all bright colors, and I did it that way because I want to be cheerful when it's gloomy outside.
Right.
So I go down there and it's bright orange and bright yellow.
That's a really good idea.
Right. So find a way, like my mom with the lights, find a way for yourself that you can make the inside of your home.
There's such simple ways.
Right.
Okay, painting. Even if you're not an artist, draw, paint. I'll tell you a silly fact about me, something that I do at night. I shut my bedroom door if I'm having a bad day. I put my AirPods in and I dance. I'm not a great dancer. Nobody sees me dance, but I dance, and it makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, because my husband told me I'm entertainment starved. I will get up and dance to any song, a commercial, anything. on TV because I just love to dance and I just feel energized by it.
Yeah.
So I'm entertainment star.
There's a lot of ways too with people doing their workouts online where you can join a group of like-minded people or get involved with a group, and no one's going to see you. You're only going to see them. So it's so great if you're starting off where you want to stay home and be a part of a group, you still can. So there's that socialization, which there are some things that are good that came out of this year, and I think it's we're more open-minded. We're more open-minded to learning at home. We're open-minded to connecting with people in a different way, right? And it's helped maybe an introvert come out of their shell because they're in their home, right? They're in their home, but they could still be with all these people, which I think is so cool.
A lot of things have changed, and as Janine said, and I'm sure you're finding it, that we sort of reinvented ourselves. We have to get around things, and we have to find a way to still carry on. You can't just give up.
Right.
You really can't give up.
I've had to actually slow down. We're used to, schedule with the kids and sport after sport and, school, and there was such a strict routine. It was like planned out from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to bed. And now it's been different. So slowing down for me has been actually a challenge, I found out. And so some of the things that I've done is balance has been really important for me. When I'm feeling mentally off balance, sometimes it's good to physically balance. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but even balancing yourself, standing on one foot, closing your eyes. There's some yoga poses involved maybe, but that actually can get you mentally recentered and balanced again. I was mentioning to you before the show the singing bowl. I have a Tibetan singing bowl that I use at home. It's small. It's, they're on Amazon. For $20 you can get one, and the sound that comes from that Tibetan singing bowl, you can even Google Tibetan singing bowl, and you can hear that sound. That tends to recenter our brain.
It's amazing how different
Power of
sounds
the brain.
and
Power of the brain.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, we thank you for joining us on the show today. We learned a lot. Again, it's all these little tips that add up to really making a difference in our lives, everyday lives, and our well-being.
That's why we sit around the table.
Make sure you fit those things into your routine. You got to do it for yourself.
I'm going home to dance in my bedroom.
There we go.
Thanks, Ange.
Thank you, Angela, so much. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope that you have learned something today, and you could watch us again and again on ssptv.com and all of our other shows. You could tell your friends about it, so no matter where they live, they could watch. Make sure that you go and check out some of our sponsors too, that you can watch some of our commercials, because it's through them we're bringing the show to you. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.